Good morning, or maybe afternoon if I forget to post this until later. But welcome to the first episode of Possum Garage, where time is money and I've got neither. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a little weird to see me on the wide-angle lens, but we've decided to do a little bit of longer-form content, share a little bit more insight into what we're doing here. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit more of the history of this fine vessel that you see sitting behind me. So it's got a pretty rich history. It's a 1967 Chrysler Lone Star John boat, 14 foot. And in case you were wondering, no, I'm not the first owner of it, but actually, the funny story goes that it was originally actually a snowblower. I guess not physically, but I had found a snowblower on the side of the road. And of course, being Canadian with the amount of snow that we get, I thought, well, I can use a snowblower. So I loaded it into the back of the truck and brought it home with me that day. I spent all winter working on getting it up and running, and well, I was successful. But by the time I got it working, it was actually spring. So of course, spring, the snow melts, and I no longer had a use for the snowblower. But at that time, I definitely had use for a boat, and I'd seen online somebody was selling one. So I asked him, hey, well, would you like to trade? Oh, I'll give you a snowblower. It's working good. You can give me that boat. So I had to paint it up and patch it up a little bit, and we'll get it all nice and running, put a motor on it. And in case you're wondering, I use an Evinrude. But after a couple of years of fixing it up and getting it all running, well, that's right around the time that COVID hit, and I decided, well, I'm bored out of my skull, and I might as well just start making a few videos. So I had started writing names on it around 2020 when I was making videos, and in case you're actually wondering why, well, I thought to myself, well, I was so appreciative of everybody that had started following me and interacting with my videos and whatnot. I had to find a way to thank them, and I consider them all fishing buddies. So, I may not be able to write everybody on the boat, but I certainly try to write as many as I can on a regular basis. We had started filling up the first seat, and of course, within about a couple of weeks, it already blown up enough that I'd filled that seat entirely. And I said, okay, build another seat. There's 3 seats in the boat now. All 3 of them are full. I ran out of space there, so I started writing them on the side of the boat. That's something I think I'll continue until, I either run out of space or I can't afford Sharpies anymore. Now, I think we'll finish off this segment with one of my favorite stories about being out on this boat. Now, it's not always worked as great as I've hoped. We've been through a few different motors on it. One of them was an old Johnson, 9.5 horse, 1960s, I think 70s maybe. But I work shift work, so every once in a while when I'm getting ready for a midnight shift, I like to try to stay up all night, get myself in the right mind frame for it, and I'll usually do that actually out on the bay, fishing all night long. Well, a good buddy of mine, we had been out fishing for the whole night, and it was about 6, 7 in the morning, give or take. We decided we wanted to come back. Well, I turned around, I pull start the motor, and felt a little funny. And what had happened is the splines that engage the forward and reverse had actually disconnected entirely. So I went to play with the lever, and I put it down into reverse, which pushed the spline down into the motor and engaged the reverse, set me flying. So I tried to put it into forward, and I realized that that didn't work anymore. So 7 in the morning, we were trying to work our way back to shore, and the only way that we could actually get there was reverse. Now I don't know if you've ever driven a John boat, or I guess any boat really, in just reverse. It doesn't work too well. So as we were going, the water is splashing up over the side of the boat, and it's just soaking us. We're soaking wet at this point. It took us about 45 minutes to make it back to shore, but by that point, we had nearly a foot of water in the bottom of the boat. So anyway, the moral of the story is lesson was learned. Loctite can definitely be a friend in the right situation. So if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We're definitely looking forward to making a lot more content in the future. And as always, keep your stick on the ice.